Welcome to Queerly Speaking. I'm your host, Nat Jones, and together my wife and I will navigate the complex intersections of faith, identity, love, and resilience. In each episode, we'll share stories of heartbreak, healing, and hope from individuals who were told they didn't belong in the very spaces that shaped us. Welcome back to Queerly Speaking. I'm your host, Nat Jones.
And I'm your co-host, Tami Jones.
If you find the intro kind of annoying, let us know because we're really just trying to do the most out here.
I don't think you should let us know today, though. Nat's a woman on the edge.
Yeah, maybe not today, but maybe in the next week or so. Drop a comment and let us know. We would appreciate it. A lot of hormones circling around, and that's okay. That's life.
We're two women in a house. Surprise. We actually are gay, if you guys didn't know. Married to each other. Really exciting.
Yes.
We're in that time. Well, right now it's constantly 9 months for me because I'm pregnant, as you can see. And kind of always hormonal. But, you know, it's one of those, if you know, you know. When you kind of sync up, you know, it's your cycle time right now. Not to expose you on the internet, but
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Feisty.
It's the time before the cycle. Which is
Someone's
the time
a bit feisty today.
Which is the time that is the worst. It is the absolute worst. The time before. The time before the time.
Yeah, I think it's better for our marriage if we just don't even go into that, but everyone should just know we're, just doing our best right now.
Everyone's doing their best. So, motherhood.
I thought you were going to say, so mother. You guys any?
So, mommy.
Mamacita.
No. So motherhood is coming up for us. Mm-hmm. And we've been talking about the fertility journey and getting pregnant and all of those things. We've talked about being the non-caring parent, the father, the non-caring mother. Is there a term are you just like a non-binary parent?
I think I've seen some TikToks about this and you just kind of decide what you want them to call you.
Okay. So wherever you fall, that was really my main point. I just thought about that. But wherever you fall, we've been kind of talking about that. But I thought it would be fun for us to really ask some questions to each other, similar to like we did when we were first dating. Remember when I bought that game? Because it was so important to me.
Too.
I know, but it was so important to me that we had like a deep relationship. Like I think it's so important. And I actually think that we are so much better about talking about really deep things now than ever.
I think the game helped me because that's not really my natural thing. It's kind of hard for me to get there. But then it was like, okay, this is just an activity. And I think we would do like, I think we'd each do like 2 questions a night or something. I can't really remember. But it was sort of like our nightly kind of wind down routine. And then it just became like an activity and it was fun. And it kind of got me to like, just ease into that a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm also curious. It's like for my therapy people out there, the ones who actually go and take care of yourselves and talk about things and all of that. Like as you've gotten older, do you feel like you have less to talk about because you have less trauma that's going on currently? Sometimes I feel like that because I used to have so much going on. I got really used to this way of life that was just always like that. And turns out life is not always like that. It's just like once you kind of work through it, sometimes I'm like, am I boring now? Like,
oh God.
Do I not have as much to say?
Isn't there a name for that? I feel like I've heard it, but it's like when you're kind of used to like no, when you're used to being like in chaos or something, and then you only feel comfortable in that. I feel like there's some term. Let us know if you guys know what it is. Obviously, I'm not going to therapy, so I'm not as smart as you, but let me know.
Well, yeah, but like even like I used to be a big journaler. I used to journal all the time. I used to like sing on my guitar and like do all this stuff. And I do actually still very much enjoy that. But like sometimes I'll sit down to go to journal and I'm like,
you could write me a poem.
Like, what do I have to say today? But that's usually because like I actually have a lot of good things to say, but I'm used to having a lot of like, I feel. Well,
let's put those on paper.
I feel blah, 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 blah. Does that even make sense to you? You're not really a journaler, so I don't even know if that even.
No, I know what you mean though, but I'm not in therapy, so I still have some shit going on upstairs.
Yeah, but sometimes I get worried that it's like, okay, is it that things are just calming down and I'm healing, or is it that I'm disconnected?
I see what you mean.
And sometimes it's like there is a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the world. I could name like 5 top issues that transports abortion.
I was just about to say, we won't name them here because it's not the podcast for that, but I guess we will name them here.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I do very much care about those things.
No, I know. I'm teasing.
I don't know, like, where I land in all of it. And I think that's probably the truest form of humanity, is that if you can say it's this, or it's this black, or this white, or whatever else, then you're probably not in the right frame of mind. Because it is complicated. That's what I think about politics a lot, is that it is harder than we all want it to be because it is complicated.
It is complicated, for sure.
There is pieces of both. But I say all of that to say, like, there's a lot of things going on, but I feel very focused, like, on our family and the very simple things in this season of my life.
I think that's good.
I think it is too, but I'm an Enneagram 4. I can be a bit melancholy at times. I have a lot of depth. And so I'm just like, where are you? But all I'm thinking about is, like, you and the baby's room and what we're going to call the baby.
I think that's fun, though. I mean, I'm sure there's been so many times where you've wanted that. I want peace so you can even focus on those little joys. I think that's a real blessing that we've gotten here.
Yeah. Could also be a combination of my ADHD because, like, also my brain is slowing down and calming down a little bit. And I'm just like, what do you do with all that space? Like, I feel like I have a lot of space. So for any of you that can relate to that in any way, because this is what happens when I get to talk unscripted. If you can relate to that in any way, drop a note. Let me know, because I would like to know if other people feel this way.
I'm sure they do, sweetie.
I don't know.
Well,
Let's let them speak for themselves. I don't know.
You guys let us know.
But as we kind of enter in this new season of our life into motherhood, which neither one of us have ever experienced other than our beautiful Roosevelt, there are joys and fears and lots of things. I can feel that I'm kind of in like a figuring things out, self-protect mode a little bit. That makes sense. Preparing for, people just keep saying how hard it's going to be and how beautiful it's going to be and how you might feel this, you might feel that, you might blah, blah, blah. And so I'm really just trying to be like, it's going to be hard. Whenever you enter a season of your life where you're not getting any sleep, it is hard.
And not only that, I mean, just bigger picture, it's like literally the biggest change we'll probably ever make in our life since we've been born. I mean, like, you know, it's like we have 0 human children right now, and then we're going to have 1.
Yeah.
Right now, we depend on each other, and we support each other, but really, like, we're responsible for keeping ourselves alive independently.
Yeah.
Like, now we're about to be responsible for keeping someone else alive.
Totally. And I do feel very confident in my ability to nurture. I do.
Yeah, I feel confident in that for you as well. We'll talk about me in a minute.
But... so it's not that. I'm not worried about, like, nurturing. I don't know what I'm worried about, but I guess that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
What would you say is your, like, not your biggest fear, not your biggest, like, joy, but the biggest unknown for you?
The whole fucking thing.
Okay, but I want you to dig deep, honey.
I am. I'm just saying the whole thing is, I mean, realistically, the whole thing is. But, well, I guess it is unknown. It's just like, how do you, like I say this to you all the time, that I'm really hoping that there's like, it's true what they say that the motherly instincts just kick in. Like, I hope that I have those, because how do you know that you're making the right choice?
Which choice?
Any choice.
Oh.
I mean, like, for however many years, the baby child can't make any decisions for themselves.
What is one thing that you're most excited about? Like, you picture in your mind, you're like, yes.
Just like the baby snuggles. Like, at first, I guess the first thing, like in the first 6 months, like, when they're just so peaceful, like you're just swaddled and you're carrying them or whatever, and they're just like so comforted by you. I just can't wait for that. And I just can't wait to see him. Like, what is he going to look like? Like, when he starts to make his little laughs and his little coos and all that. Like, just to meet him. I think that's it. Yeah, it's kind of a basic answer, but I just can't wait to meet him and see, like, his little personality develop.
What are you... I'm excited about that too. What are you, when you think about, like, the first 3 months, what is something that pops into your mind that worries you?
The lack of sleep, for sure, because I'm a sleepy girl, and I don't have a lot of patience right now when people wake me up. And people say that all the time, but I think it's different, right? Like, you don't have, if you wake me up for some reason, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm kind of annoyed, but it's like, well, you're an adult. You don't really need to wake me up or anything. Yeah. But when Roosevelt, like, wakes me up because he needs water or something in the middle of the night, like, that's his call for help. Like, he cannot get it for himself. So I get up and get it for him. So I do hope that, like, that's the part that kicks in where you're like, well, this is like my baby. Like, he needs me right now. He's awake because he's hungry, or he needs to be soothed. and only we can give that to him. So I think that will kind of help, but I am really worried about that. Or like, how do you not, fall asleep? Or how can you guarantee you're going to wake up in the middle of the night? And then your critical thinking skills have to be obviously really strong, because you're navigating this new time, but you're doing that sometimes on like 3 hours of sleep. But I feel like every new parent says that. What about you? What do you think?
What's something I worry about?
Yeah. In that period, that same 90 days.
The transition. I'm not worried about like being off from work and being home altogether and figuring out our schedule. I'm worried about when life goes back to us.
Day 91.
Huh?
I said day 91.
Well, no, not for me.
Oh,
I only get 2 weeks at home in the beginning, and then I go back, and routines are something that's important to me. As much as I am a spontaneous person and I do love adventure, but when it's just in my normal day to day, I do like having a routine. I like waking up around the same time and having things prepared. I'm a big preparer, like prep our food you know what I mean? And I feel if too many days come and go when it's like things aren't really that prepared, it starts to give me anxiety. So I'm more worried of like, what is it going to look like when I have to get up and go back to work and you're here with the baby because you're still off at that point. And in the first 90 days, that's what I'm most worried about. At the end of the 91 day, I have a different worry.
Yeah, I think every month we'll have a different worry. I worry about that too when you go back to work. And we actually we said this, and I think going back to what you said at the beginning of like, people have a lot to say about like this could happen or this couldn't happen. And it's kind of a catch-22, right? Because there are sometimes where like it puts something in your head that wasn't there already. And you're like, oh, okay, fuck, I didn't even know to be worried about that. And now I am worried about that. But I think more often than not, it's actually such an advantage because you're often finding like that you're not alone in these thoughts, or that, a lot of other people have had these worries or these kind of experiences or whatever. And, I said that to you the other day that it was kind of making me nervous to think like, or not nervous. I was kind of feeling bad about myself, really, to think we had worked out the schedule. So I'll be home for 3 months and then you'll split your time. So you'll be, at least our plan for right now is you'll be home for 2 weeks and then you'll do your other 2 weeks a little bit later, right? Is that fair to say? So I was like, oh, maybe when you're done with the 2 weeks, that would be a great time for my sisters to come out. And I was like, I'm kind of scared to be alone. Like, you're going to go back after 2 weeks is like nothing. You're like, you have a couple days in the hospital. That's not that much time.
It's not. And that would never be my preference. All we have.
No, of course. Yeah. And that's like a whole other thing. But of course, I just mean I was feeling guilty or feeling like it's already not maternal that, I'm 5 months pregnant 4 months pregnant right now. I was like, Jesus, the baby's coming tomorrow. I'm 4 months pregnant right now. And I'm worried about the first day I'll be home alone with my son. Like, that really made me feel like, I'm going to need to fucking get it together because I'm going to be responsible for him. But then you talk to other people and so many of our mom friends have been like, no, that is so normal. Like the first day that you come home, even as a family from the hospital, is so scary. And the first day that you're alone is so scary. And, it's just something new. But I think it's nice to be able to have those conversations with people because otherwise you are in your head and you're feeling like it's weird to hold those two. I feel like you always say this, like to hold the two truths at the same time, which is one, I feel like we are very ready to be mothers and we're so excited. And at the same time, I feel like I have no fucking idea what is about to happen. Mm-hmm. But you can only prepare. I mean, we're already taking classes and reading books and all that stuff. But the reality is like, I feel like it's you learn on the job type situation.
You do, for sure. And these are the things also that I think about too. It's like, if you think about the world, right? I think one of the things that's really important to us in having children is that they are an individual who grows up and contributes to society in a positive way. Mm-hmm. But when you think about your legacy as a mother, like each individual brings something different to the table. And when you think about yours in particular, what do you think, like what gift, so to speak, do you think that you bring as a mother specifically?
That made my eyes water.
Those baby hormones got you.
I know. So maybe I am more ready for the baby than I thought. God, I just hope that I want to be someone that he feels like, that he just feels like he always has me. Like he always has someone in his corner. Like if it's to come to, like he really messed up or he really had a good day, or later in life when he's having financial troubles, God forbid, because he doesn't know. I mean, he's 19 and he's on his own and he doesn't know or anything like that. I just always want to be someone that he looks to and feels like really proud to get advice from. Like, you know, like he wants to do things that we've done. Like I just hope that he feels proud that we're his mothers, and he wants to come to us and proud to have us in his corner.
I love that. I think he will.
Thanks, I hope so. And also I hope he thinks I'm cool.
We'll see.
He probably won't for like 10 years at least. He's going to be like, oh my God, leave me alone.
He probably will until he's like 14.
Yeah.
Then he'll be like, they are so stupid.
But you know what people always say, which actually has been really kind in this journey? And obviously we have good people in our circles, right? In our corners. Like we don't have anyone in our lives where we would be like, oh, we're having a boy. And they'd be like, oh God, you know, like, where's the dad? Or like, whatever. Of course, we don't have anyone that would say that. So it's not that I was expecting any of that, but the amount of like how many people, and even people that are like, you know, kind of more old school or whatever, just they run the gamut of people. Like they always say to us, oh, like he's so lucky boys love their moms. You know, or they always will say like, oh, you know, he's going to be such a good man to have the both of you. Like just the positive feedback has been really, again, I wouldn't have expected nothing less, but it's just been really nice to have been met with that, because you never know. I mean, that is something that might come up later in life, is like we're two women raising a son.
I definitely think it will.
And I think it will, and I think it's going to be tough to navigate, but it is really reassuring and really kind of boosts my confidence in the people that we have around us, just how much positive feedback we've gotten, you know, about how excited people are for us and that specifically.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would agree. I worried about that a lot. I still kind of worry about it, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I
think we always will,
place.
Right? You know?
When I think about the parent that I want to be and the legacy that I hope to really leave behind, it's like this idea. There's this quote that I heard on a different podcast a couple of years ago. It was Glennon Doyle, actually. And I'll butcher it, but it's something like, the biggest like betrayal that you'll have to your own child is the unlived life of a parent. And I remember everything about how I felt when they said that, because I do feel like in some aspects I watched that happen in my parents' lives.
Me too.
And I've always been like fairly driven, very goal oriented. And I hope that when he looks at me, that he sees someone who didn't hold anything back in life. That he sees someone who like went after,
Always crying on this fucking podcast.
I don't know, that he sees someone who like always went after their dreams as an individual, but also like for our family. That there was never a moment like that when he looks at me that I ever thought about myself first before I thought about all of us. And that's what it means to me to be a individual, a provider, a whatever, however you identify with what you feel like you bring to the family. But I want him to look at me and think like, I want to be like that. That it's not just because I'm his mom or his family or whatever, but that he's like proud of what I contributed and brought to the world. And that through like watching my life, he learns how to live his own life because he watches us live ours. And I think parents in general sometimes have a hard time maintaining the balance between life being all about their kids and then still focusing on themselves and having their own life and all of those different things. And it is a balance. I'm not even going to pretend that I know. I'm not there yet. I have no idea. But I do think that something that's really important to me is that I don't get that neither one of us get so swallowed up in this is what we're supposed to do that we like give up on every other dream, because I think it's really important that our kids see us living the life that we want to and going after our dreams.
Yeah, I do too.
While also being responsible and all of those things, like hand in hand.
That got me, babe. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I think he will be. I know it for sure.
When growing up, I like saw my dad, and like I always just respected so much how hard he worked. Well, specifically just how hard he worked to make things work. Like he would have done anything for us and worked an incredible amount to like make that happen. I definitely think there were dreams unlived, but I did respect that a lot. And I do think both of us have that.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that he grows up and he's a lazy son of a bitch and doesn't contribute.
There's no way that would happen.
That's my biggest fear, which I need to probably work through that and get over that. But that would be my biggest fear.
There's just no
that
way
he just like doesn't do anything.
that our kid would do that.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like we have such big kind of hopes for him already.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think both of us are pretty good at like aligning with what he wants.
For sure. With
It's
no
just
specific
like-
goal.
No. And I know that Scott Galloway can be, people have different thoughts and feelings about him. And I love listening to him a lot. And he talks about like what he would tell his sons growing up and just what he tells young people in general is that, you know, we do this thing where we're like, oh yeah, chase your dreams. And it's like, maybe don't chase your dreams because you can't always make money at that. And that's how kind of the world works right now is that you do need to make money. But focus on your talents. Like if you, every person is naturally inclined towards something. What is that something? And know that certain paths are harder than others. But anyway, I just think that's sometimes a good way because we like kind of get into this thing of like a parent never telling their kid like, they're not too great at that, whatever the thing is. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to set our kid up to like think that they're like some false hope that they're going to be a violinist and they're like terrible. You know what I mean? It's like there's a balance there, but anyway, I don't know how we got off on that, but that's more of the legacy I want to leave behind.
That's beautiful, babe.
Yeah.
I think you will for sure. I think we're so lucky as a family to have you.
I think we're lucky as a family to have you.
It's so fun, this like kind of new place that we're getting in because I feel like we haven't even, well, we obviously have started, you know, like he's not here yet, right? Mm-hmm. But I already kind of feel myself seeing you a little bit in a different light. You know,
what do you mean?
Like, well, I just feel like, and you're always, I mean, you always are taking care of me and you always are taking care of Roosevelt and our family and stuff like that. But I just feel like I'm starting to look through, I don't know, like maybe of a different lens or something. Like I'm just thinking more about things in the future and I'm seeing like, oh, she's going to do that, you know, when our son is here, or just like kind of seeing you more as a mother, I guess, right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense, but and just kind of your carefulness and your attention to caring for people and all of that stuff. I just feel like I'm always aware of that. It's one of my favorite things about you, but I feel like I'm even more aware of it right now. Which is just kind of fun. And I know people always say that really grows for your partner or changes. And anyway, my kind of point to that was just thinking that it's nice to know, you know, like you said, we can't pretend to know the challenges that are ahead of us because we don't have a human child yet. That's Earthside.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's nice to just feel like through this process, like you're just getting steps of reassurance that, you know, you already know that you picked the right partner, hopefully before you get married, and then you get married and you see them through marriage and you're like, oh, I picked a good partner. You know, it's not like just
And if
today,
you didn't, it's never too late.
Right. Yeah. We have a couple episodes about that for you, but it's like, you know, I just feel like through this process a little bit, it's just like little reminders that I'm like, oh yeah, I did good.
That's really sweet, babe. Thank you. The more you glow in pregnancy, the more I'm like, wow, I picked a hot wife.
Thanks, honey. I hope I'm starting to get that glow that they talk about because
You are.
weeks 1 through 12, I was looking like,
I mean,
I'm glad that baby didn't have to see me in that way. What do you think is something, honey, that you skipped over when you asked me this, that you're most looking forward to? Like right kind of in that immediate time when he's here.
in the immediate time frame when he's
Yeah.
here. It's really interesting because like my brain has gone so much to like function. Like I haven't really, all I keep thinking about is like all the things that will need to be done. All the things that I'll be like shuffling around and doing. And I haven't really taken the time to like think about what it's going to be like to look him in the eyes
Cute.
yet.
He'll be looking around because I can't really see that far yet.
Yeah, but like I haven't really connected with this part of it yet of
Yeah.
like just seeing him. It's more like, okay, am I prepared with all the things that will need to happen? So I think I need to probably spend some time also thinking about that. I think I'm kind of overcompensating because people keep saying like, yeah, it's going to be really hard. It's also going to be really beautiful. But I heard this person talk about that. What they said was that oftentimes what creates the amount of disappointment and frustration in parents is when they go into the process thinking, I'm going to have this magical connection. It's going to be so perfect. We're going to bring him home or her home, whoever it is. And it's going to be, you know, so delightful. And they don't really think about how like the lack of sleep and all the newness about it, all the change and all this different stuff. So I think I've very much overcompensated, and to the point I have gone to the other extreme, and all I'm thinking about is all the things that will need to be done. And I'm not also giving myself like that moment to connect, to be like, what will it be like? I'm looking forward to the hot mom walk out of the hospital.
Me too.
And I'm really looking forward to going on walks in the neighborhood. It's like for me and you, that's just been such a special time, especially once we bought the house. We have our new little neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
we're lucky he's coming in winter, so we actually can go outside here.
Right, because we live in the desert. Although I've tried to move us several times. And so I'm really looking forward to that, of like, this is going to sound silly, but like, I don't even think I'm going to need a beanie in Arizona, but like having a beanie and then him having a beanie that maybe
like
matches.
little cute outfits.
Or like some matching hoodies. It's kind of interesting for me because growing up, like I always wanted my brother's clothing, and now I get to dress how I want to, and which is in the winter, like hoodies and shorts and tennis shoes and whatever, kicks or whatever, you know. And having a son, I think for me, that's going to be some like the most fun, not the most fun, but like a really fun part of it, of like dressing him up, and especially in his earlier years where him and I can kind of dress the same. And I'll be like, this is like me getting to live my childhood all over again, of like having a son. Like I imagine that if I had been able to be who I was from the time I was little until now, this is how it would have been. Like, this is what I would have wanted from a parent. Yeah. And so then to have a son and it be like, I mean, when he gets older, he can tell us if he doesn't like kicks or hoodies or whatever. But in the meantime, I'm going to really, I'm going to really enjoy that time frame and just being like, this is my boy. This is my son.
It's going to be so cute to see you guys in your little outfits.
And it's really interesting because I've heard people talk about this, where they'll like, if it's like a dad or a mom, the mom will be like, yeah, I feel like I would just be better as a boy mom, or I feel like I'd be better as a girl mom, or the dad saying he'd be better with boys or girls, whatever it is. And I think that probably I can speak for myself. It was a level of like insecurity, because I always thought I would be better with boys than I was with girls, because I feel like in some aspects I like things that fall more on the boy side. Now I feel like I would actually be really good as a girl mom. I just thought in my mind, it's like, okay, if we have a girl, it's definitely going to end up being like, I'm going to be a little princess. It's like in our friend groups, we've had people that have had boys and girls, and I can definitely guarantee like playing with them is equally fun.
But I know what you mean. You kind of go to, well, even when we were finding out the, gender of our baby, everyone in my family kind of was like, oh, we just imagine, and I imagined myself having a girl as well, except early on I felt like it was a boy, but previously, like before being pregnant, I'd always imagined myself having a girl. And everyone that knows me kind of said the same thing, and they're like, oh, it's just because you're so girly. We just kind of imagine that. So I get what you mean in the sense that there was a little bit of time, but I really do feel like from day one to when we found out at like 10 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever we did, I really like knew it was a boy the whole time. So that was nice for me to have that time to like prepare. To do that. So now I feel totally fine about it. But there was, same thing, a part of me where I'm like, I can't throw a ball to save my fucking life. Like if my literal life was on the line and someone was like, make this basket, I'd be like, you might as well just kill me. Like there's like, not,
you'll go to throw it like this and it goes that way.
% of chance that that's going to happen. Like I don't have a piece of athleticism in my cartilage. Like there's nothing going on here. It's like just what I can figure out at the gym is about as far as it goes. And not that like, we're not like that stereotype that I'm like, oh, he's going to be in sports and like, he can do whatever he wants. But I just think,
wants to be.
Of course, I just mean, I'm not trying to gender every interest in saying that. But there is a level, right, where you're like, oh my God, like, and I don't really like, I'm not really into going outside. Like, I don't really want to be in the dirt. But then it's also like, when I have like a, my 5-year-old, like cute little son is coming up to me. He's like, Mom, can we play outside? I'm going to be like on my way, like running to go in the mud, I'm sure. But
yeah, you will.
But I know what you mean, that you're kind of thinking like, oh, do my interests, like, is that what they need? But it's also like, you don't know. Like even in my sisters, it's like, we all have pretty different interests.
Yeah.
And, your siblings as well. It's like our friends, like it's not like a guarantee that just because they're one gender, they're going to have one interest. But then my point of that is I know what you mean, because I kind of had that as well.
One thing I am excited about in having a boy, there's also some fears and stereotypes and all those things, right? Kind of these boxes that, oh, well, how's he going to learn masculinity without a dad? And I might get a lot of flack for this, but I feel like I'm one of the best people to teach masculinity. And I say that because like I'm so excited to have the opportunity to help him learn about himself and about masculinity and what that means. I don't think is always gendered, but
I agree.
I think that what's important is that masculinity in its truest form and in wholeness looks like a fighter and a go-getter and artist, a poet, and someone who can communicate their feelings, and someone who is soft, and someone who is tough. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's all of these things wrapped up in one. And I hope to God that we can give him a healthy connection to his masculinity, because that's the biggest thing that he would be able to contribute to this world, especially right now.
For sure.
In the society that we live in. It's like the world needs true men.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's coming from a gay woman. The world does, and I love men. That's the thing. It's like, I love men. Some of the greatest men
Someone's
in my
gonna
life.
They're going to be like, fake lesbian.
I would literally love that so much. No, but I just think it's really important. Like the world needs both. The world needs all of the things.
For sure.
And I think that's just something that's really important that I want him to be able to have, and unfortunately more uncommon than I would like it to be.
Yeah. I think something that I appreciate about us is that I also feel like we're very secure. I feel like we're very secure in our family dynamic. We're extremely secure about being, you know, two women in a marriage. Like all that stuff, like, doesn't really bother us in any way. And even going through the fertility, like, you know, whether we were going to do IVF or not, like if we could control it, we both did, but led by you, always wanted to have at least one boy. Like, you know, we kind of been preparing for all these things. And my point of that is that I agree with you. I have a hard time thinking of things that we won't be able to teach him, but I'm sure that there are things I'm not aware of that are kind of specific. Because I would say that there are things, in my opinion, that are specific to my existence as a woman that a man probably can't understand. Mm-hmm. And so I'm certain that that's the same thing for men. I obviously just don't know. Agree. My point of that being is that we've cultivated such a great group of people. You know, he'll have cousins, he'll have uncles, and we've already had conversations like this that we feel like I'd be very comfortable saying, let me try to show you how I can relate to you. However, you know, use your resources, you know, like it doesn't make me less of a mother because you need to go talk to one of your uncles. It's like that doesn't invalidate that, because I think even if you're a heterosexual couple, you often have a village, right? You have family, you have cousins, you have things like that people go to, but we're just in a good place with that, because I think that that's something people say, like not our people, but some people. It's like, well, what if he needs a man? It's like, well, if he really needs one, that we have a few. Like, you know, it's not like we don't live in an all women village where we'll never see like.
No, I think the truth is that he probably will.
Right.
And that's okay. Yeah. I think he definitely will. I think what's important to me, which is why I think it is so important when you're an adult, who you choose to be around you in your life. What would be really important to me is that we have men around us who have a healthy sense of masculinity, have a healthy sense of feminism, have a healthy sense of gender in general. You know what I mean? It's important that I feel like I want him to see. You get to a point in your life, especially I feel like when you have kids, you can hope all you want to, but like they will do and become who is around them.
Right.
There's no way around it. So that's why I think you become so specific. At least I feel like I'm becoming more and more. The older I get, the more specific I become. And I think when we have kids, it's going to be even more like,
I'm sure.
Oh, shit. That's really important who you have around, because he will look at the men in our lives and think, my mom thinks that's a good man.
For sure. Yeah, I feel confident in the circle that we've curated.
But yeah, if we were worried about what somebody in our friend group would say, then we probably wouldn't have them as around. Now, they might be a little bit further out of the circle, but they wouldn't be in the close circle. I'm talking about close circle.
Right.
And very few people are in that circle.
Yeah.
I think you probably have more than me, but my space is just smaller.
I have a capacity for a lot. Speaking of circle, I just wanted to share something that I thought was so adorable yesterday. And just kind of reiterates that again, we talked about this, and I know we'll talk about it more. It's like, okay, elephant in the room, we had to use a donor. Like, surprise to no one. We didn't,
Shocker.
Unfortunately, we can't genetically make a baby ourselves. And, sometimes you think...
And I'm still upset about it.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's like, it, but it pisses you off. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about, with whom we shared information about the donor versus who we didn't, and not out of secrecy, and just of like, that was something that served a purpose for our family. We don't really want like that lingering around.
I don't think it's everyone's business.
Yeah, it's not. And kind of particularly like, it would be a nightmare to us personally. Obviously, okay, if this is fine with someone else. For someone to say like, oh, did he get his blank blank from the donor? Like, I'd be like, why are you talking about that? And anyway, I bring that up to say yesterday, one of my sisters and her kids were over, and we're all like in the pool or whatever, which was another one of those moments where like, oh, I can't wait for this. Like, they're teenagers, so it's obviously we have a long way to go, but just that fun kind of like family Saturday type situation. And my nephew, who's the middle of her children, is 19, and he has a developmental disorder. He has Prader-Willi syndrome, and he's just like the just fucking purest. Like, I mean, how else do you describe it? It's like you just like want to pick him up and carry him in your pocket. I mean, he's like just the sweetest kid ever. And anyway, he's so excited. I mean, he's probably like, since we got married, been like, when am I getting a cousin? And we're like, okay, like, we're working on it. Every time we see him, like Christmas wishes, we'll be like, what'd you wish for on your birthday? He's like, a cousin. We're like, we're on it. And anyway, he was, so excited. So yesterday we're in the pool, and he comes over and he puts his hand on my tummy, and he goes, oh, he's so cute. And I said, well, what do you mean? You don't know what he looks like yet. He's still growing. And he goes, I can just tell. He goes, he's going to look like, he'll look just like you and Auntie Nat. And I like literally almost like started crying in the pool right there. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And he goes, but specifics. He's like, well, he'll have your face, but I think he'll have Auntie Nat's nose. And like, it just...
No, it's opposite. He'll have my face in your nose.
Oh yeah, Auntie Nat's face, but he'll have your nose. And
I
then
hope he has your nose over mine. My God.
Thanks, honey. Going on to like, oh, well, do you think I'll have light hair or dark hair or whatever? And it just was like such a kind of pure, sweet little moment where it's like, I don't know. I just thought it was like so cute. Like, he's just so genuinely excited. And I'm sure like the baby's going to get here and he'll be like, oh, it looks just like Auntie Nat. And, all
it's
that
actually
stuff.
Funny. It's like a phenomenon even on TikTok. I've seen all these videos of these gay couples, and it's like, my wife carried the baby for 9 months and it looks just like me.
Oh yeah.
But I think when you're around people all the time, like you said, before, like the facial expressions, the person, like,
and you
all
chose
of that
features
is
probably that are similar.
Oh yeah, we definitely did. I
know, but they are. But in that moment, it was just like so sweet, especially because it was our nephew saying it. Obviously, it is obvious once they learn about genetics, they're gonna know, something was up. But it just made me think like. It kind of made me let my guard down a little bit in the sense of like just how kids have such a pure innocence about him. Like, okay, I think he will have an easier time in kindergarten and schools and meeting other people than, maybe that we worry about, or than maybe that kids who had same-sex parents in our generation or before did. It's like,
I hope so.
Ignorance and intolerance and all that stuff, like that's a learned behavior. And for the most part, like, when they're young especially and stuff, like kids just don't have that because they're just so pure and kind of full of joy and all that. So it just made me feel like, oh, okay, like, he's going to be, like I bet like one of his friends, like in kindergarten, maybe be like, oh, you look just like, like if you pick him up from school, they'll be like, oh, like you guys are twins. Anyway, all of that.
It is.
I thought it was just kind of like such a sweet, like
it is
little moment of like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see like.
There's a comedian I was watching recently. I think she was on Fallon show. And she's like, oh yeah, recently my kid found out I was gay. And everyone's like, what? And she's like, yeah, he got in the car from school and my wife and I are there. And he's like, Mom, do you know what being gay means? She's like, yeah, I do know what that means. And he's like, are you gay? She's like, yeah, I'm gay. Yeah, I'm gay. I've been gay for quite some time now. And it was just like the funniest thing because I was like, kids, they just know what they know. You know what I mean? Like you hear stories like that and you're just like, okay, let's all just lighten up a little bit. Like everyone's going to be just fine.
Yeah, it does kind of put you at peace.
Yeah.
He's going to come home and be like, did you guys know that some houses have men? Just kidding. He'll see that already from our friends. But... And we'll be like, what?
Yeah.
They told you that in school? I'm just kidding.
We're going to burn those books, bitch. And on that note, thanks for listening this week. I hope you guys have a great week. And talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.